in 8 years of him coming through, and we thank God for that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pray if you can hear me. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for today. There's an echo. I can hear echo. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for today. You're such a wonderful God. Thank you for 8 years, over 8 years, going to 9 years of coming through and having this serious conversation. We thank you for MH Stars. We thank you for the leadership. We thank you for our guests today. We love you. Thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. We usually start with prayers, and thank you, everybody, for being here. We respect all religions, and we appreciate you for being here. MH Stars, and this conversation has been going on for over 8 years, going to 9 years. We've been meeting monthly, and through the leadership of Reverend Wambui, it's been amazing. Personally, I've grown to make sure that I take care of myself, don't cross lines, being sensitive on what I say, being sensitive to what other people think. And because of that journey and experience has allowed me now, I'm a mental health instructor on the youth and adult. So I'm excited because of through MH and the leadership of Reverend Wambui, the board members, and even always being encouraged by Professor Peter Diongui has been an encouragement to me. So thank you for being here tonight. We're gonna have fun. We don't stay longer. I want to welcome, for disclaimer, Reverend Wambui. Later, we're going to share this. You can share with your friends later. Thank you so much, Rev. Thank you for your leadership. On behalf of MH Stars, we appreciate you. Karibu sana. Welcome.
Thank you.
Reverend Wambui.
Thank you. Here is our disclaimer. Welcome. Good evening. This is Mental Health Stars Incorporated. The acronym STAR stands for Start Talking About Mental Health and Remove Stigma. Here is our disclaimer. And after this disclaimer, we will introduce our speaker tonight. We are here only to share education and information. Suggestions made here by Mental Health Stars Board and our guests are never a diagnostic, impression, or a substitute for treatment for mental health issues or mental health illness, or follow-up activities that are required and consented to by your doctor, your psychiatrist, your therapist, and we encourage individuals to consult with your doctor. And if you have negative side effects, just in case you take medication, please do not be your own physician. Go ahead and report to the clinic or for the therapist or your doctor to change that medication. It is going to be okay. Do not stop taking medication unless you have spoken with your doctor, or if it's an emergency, you can always go to your nearest emergency hospital. When we say nearest, we encourage you to go wherever your zip code is, your physical address. The people there, they'll take good care of you. Welcome this evening. Relax. We sometimes encourage individuals to relax, sit back, breathe in with your nose 3 times and out your mouth like a Kenyan who is running, and you can keep a lot of air in your lungs. Here we go. Then you introduce and welcome our speaker. Ready? Breathe in with your nose. You can even do to make sure. And you breathe out. You should make that kind of noise. And you see yourself rising as you breathe. The second time, breathe in. See? Breathe out. Breathe in again. That time, smile and breathe out. You're a good marathon runner. So as you run, you go like this. And you do not have to cough. at the end of 1 mile, okay? Because you are putting energy in your lungs and you're breathing right, and you're enjoying your walk or your run. Thank you very much. Tonight, I want to ask one of our board members, Mr. Kevin Goge, to introduce our board members that are on the call tonight. We are not many, but we work tirelessly. Then after that, I will read the bio of the professor. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Yeah, thank you so much, Reverend Wamboy. Again, we're super excited to be bringing these topics that dinner table talks, and we get an opportunity to rotate among ourselves and also bring different speakers who are specialized research. Some produce books and even content and material that they'll be doing this for some time. So tonight, a part of our board for MH Stars, we do have Reverend Come Now, who's a part of our board, just there, wave up to us. He's the one that opened us for the meeting for us. And we have Reverend Wamboy, who is also part of our board. Come Now is coming from the Great Midwest, and then Reverend Wamboy calling us from Georgia. I'm also in Georgia, part of the board members. And we're super excited. We are humbled to have this opportunity to continue, bring that awareness, share what we have. Some of us as clinicians, educators, research. We have testimony sometimes. So again, take a pen, bring up paper, share, let somebody know that we are live and we want to educate and remove that stigma from our cultural background, some of us from men's perspective, and get help. Get help, save one family, save one life, and one life lost is too many. So that's why we come here every month just to create that awareness and share. And you might see us in your community as we come in to share more, be on site, be seen. You can talk to us, ask questions. More of that's coming up towards the end of the call. Again, I'll hand over the mic back to Reverend Romboy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Here tonight, we have the honor and privilege of having as our speaker and presenter tonight for the next 30 minutes, and none other but Dr. Peter Diangui. He is the program coordinator, associate professor, Department of Leadership, Counseling, and Human Development, College of Education, Florida, Gulf Coast. Would you please welcome our speaker tonight? And we always get so blessed when he's sharing. And you have privileges to share your screen with us because we are in the company of our professor, and I know he's going to project not just knowledge but great information. Thank you. Karibu, karibu mwalimu.
Mute. Uh-oh. What is going on here?
You are
Wait.
good. You are good.
Can you hear me now?
Here.
Very good.
We
We
can hear
got
and
ya.
we can see your screen.
We got ya.
Okay, let me stop sharing for a minute. First of all, to the board of MH Stars Association, it's always an honor to be invited. I don't take it lightly. I know there are great speakers out there, but every now and then you invite me, and I am honored, deeply honored. And I wanted to also mention that I'm also honored by some very special people here, my students. And if they, it's evening, they're meant to be doing their homework, they're not getting anything. So my students, all of you guys, thank you so much. And at the end of this, I would like you to just say something later on. I just want to also welcome some very special friend, a very special friend of mine, Dr. Constantine Georgiadis. Georgiadis Samajabo.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
Yes. Yes. And I wanted to say this at first, actually. Let me just throw this in before I even start the presentation. When I came to the United States, I was hired by a school in Georgia, where we were from 70 countries, and later on I was offered a job as the first Black teacher in a school in a village called Fort Myers. And I was scared because to be the first one, I thought they might throw a lot of eggs. And then I saw this tall white man coming to me, smiling, and I didn't know what he was up to. And then within no time, he said, Jambo. And just when he said Jambo, in all this midst of all these white folks, I could not believe it. That made me so happy. So from there, Dr. Georgiadis, thank you so much. That's 24 years ago. I will never forget. I will never forget that very special moment when you called me, and he has since then been my very good friend. Thank you for being here today, please. Thank you so much.
Thank
For
you.
welcoming me. And I think we had a great time in Canterbury, and I think you opened doors the best way we knew how. That's it. Let me just now start sharing properly, because I think this is deep stuff. Quite often, you guys can see my screen now?
It's coming.
Okay. Yes. I want to put it on slideshow.
It's a little slow. Got it.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much. So, by the way, that is FGCU, the background, that's my university, and I'm so proud. It's a place I get to, and I'm always very happy to be in this community. It's a beautiful place to be in, and I'm honored to be there. So the topic today is finding happiness, different approaches. And I wanted to start by this slide, just asking you what makes you happy. You can see I am extremely happy. You can see that. That's me. You can all tell, but that's me. And I'm very happy over little things like just having a nice meal. And my wife sees me so happy, she takes a picture of me there, just because I was happy eating the food she offered me. It was very nice. So, question is, what makes you happy? And I know that question can go loud and loud and loud. And we can talk about the many things. Even having my students and you guys here, everybody makes me so happy. And if I ask each one of you, we can go around and spend the whole hour or 2 hours or 3 hours just talk about the many little things that make you happy. But then there are people I think they are very, very happy achieving some things. Maybe, people who have achieved a lot. And I think they're very happy. And then I get a shock to realize maybe they were not. And when I was thinking about this topic and wondering what to present, and I talked to Reverend Wambui about it. It's quite some time ago, but something dramatic had happened and scared me a lot. So I want to ask Rachel Mutheru. Rachel, karibu sana, welcome. Could you just say what happened to Dr. J? We just keep to Dr. J, please. This is a real story.
Dr. J, as you know, I work from New York to DC and anywhere in between, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland. I have doctors everywhere where I go. In case I need a physical, in case I get sick, I can get to my doctor. So I just go anywhere. And I was introduced to this Kenyan who is a doctor who works in the same facility I worked, but he had his own big clinic. So anytime I got sick, I went there twice. And I walked in and I met Dr. J with his daughter, smiling, such a happy person, young. And his two daughters were working with him because the wife was at work. And we just had a very good time. His clinic was full, so many patients waiting to be seen by Dr. J. And this year in April, I was bragging about my doctor. I have doctors all over every state. And I go, in Pennsylvania, I have Dr. this and this. And then somebody say, he just passed away. I go, what? I couldn't believe it. Such a happy person, such nice person, such Beautiful clinic, beautiful work he's doing with the state to help the mentally ill and pain management. And I could not believe it. So he sent me a clip to believe it. So I knew it was true. I feel very, very sad because I sent Peter his number and Priscilla because I wanted Priscilla to talk to Dr. J so they can be friends. So Dr. J can walk them into how to get state contracts. Just be friends. They are DNPs. They have achieved what we have not achieved. But unfortunately, it never happened. I was told he passed away. But under circumstances, I will not speculate and I will not say because it hearsay. But it is his cousin who told me what happened. I don't want to say. And that's what Peter said. You think people are happy, they're making a lot of money, they have families, they have kids, but you do not know the burdens they are carrying. I still feel guilty even now that I never called to check on him, to connect them with Peter and Priscilla, because maybe it would have made a difference. Because with Peter, anything can happen.
So let me get to the point here, because you're not going to name him. The story was later on I came to learn, and it's still not confirmed, that Dr. J committed suicide to some extent. Let's go there. But we're not going, because you're not even naming him.
Yep.
Kevin, it's not easy to get DNP, and you know that.
Yep.
Actually, only 1.6% of all the people in nursing area can get DNP. Dr. J has a very beautiful family, has a beautiful clinic. He had all the money, he had big houses, big everything.
Big jobs too.
And just this year to commit suicide. And we have many, many stories. So I realize even when we see people looking like they are happy, sometimes there are many things, and that's why we're going to deal with that. So I thought we pick this topic from that negative point of view and try to say there is a positive side. Maybe in some of the things we talk about, we don't have the solutions. All those things that we talk about, which is minor, but things do happen like that, and they're the latest. Our mental health areas, even in my university, has grown, and these issues are there. So we need to look for the happiness. I'm going to base a lot of what I'm going to talk about on the work done by Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar. Dr. Ben-Shahar was in Harvard, and he did one incredible job. Now he learns something called the Happiness Studies Academy in New Jersey, and you can check on it. It offers master's programs on happiness studies based on a university called Centenary, but the work I'm going to do is based on that. But I want us to focus on that class in Harvard. That class in Harvard was Happiness 101. By the year 2006, which it had started 2004, it had grown to 1,400 students. One of every 7 undergraduate students enrolled in that class. And we talk about Harvard, students who have achieved a lot. So there's need for this. And they felt the need, and that's how he later on left to start his program. So I wondered why so many students would be looking for a class just called something straightforward happiness, which you create for yourself. Let me go back. Even the forefathers of this country, in the American Declaration of Independence, Jefferson said, "We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, which is straightforward, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." And when I was going to, I think it was high school, Form 2 in Nyeri, and we started learning this. It was very intriguing. I would love to be in that country where they just pursue happiness. And Dr. J, we just talked about, also dreamt the same, and I'm sure all of us when you're coming. But note, it was not that the government, Jefferson and these people were declaring that the government will give you happiness. It is for you to pursue happiness. In other words, the government would create an environment where we would use our abilities and everything else to fulfill our dreams. what is happiness here? And we're not going to spend too much time on this because of the time factor. I want us to have some time to discuss all this. We talk about a deep sense of well-being, fulfillment, contentment that lies in our lives over circumstances that make us feel good, whether it is the food, whether it's getting a good grade, whether it is getting the money or buying a new house or a new car. I saw Rachel feeling very good because when she bought her first Tesla, it was so great. It was wonderful. A car that drives itself. She was so excited. A state of well-being that makes you feel good. And it is not just permanent like joy, which defies circumstances. We are talking, what are those situations that create that happiness? Now, it's important to highlight before I go to the different perspectives, which were there in that class of Harvard 101, but I'm not looking at it as a university professor, it's just a presentation now, that happiness is not a constant emotional high. Joy may be internal regardless of circumstances. Life has a pattern of producing experiences that trigger sadness, stress, disappointment, and other difficult emotions, and that is not in question. Being happy does not mean that we are not feeling bad. No, it happens. Setbacks come. But remember, one important thing I want to add here, happiness is reciprocal. The more you give to others, the more you receive. I have my students here. I have to wear the heart of happiness so that they can also be happy and learning environment can be good and they can be with me. And I have many friends here. You cannot be creating a domestic violence in your house or other sad situations and expect to be happy too. The opposite of happiness as a way of escalating. People start by calling each other names. Within no time, you find them killing each other or something like that. And then some other people turn to that short-term happiness. I want to have a drink. I want to have drug. I want to have sex. I want to have this. And then it's at the expense of long-term happiness. So we're going to address all this. Happiness as a consequence. We don't really pursue happiness. I know the title is Finding Happiness. We do the things, love, service, meaningful achievements that become a consequence of making us feel good, making us happy. It is pursuing those that happiness follows what we're doing. Happiness is something that is cultivated. We look for the things that bring it in. And there are different perspectives. This has been studied over and over again, and I'm going to trace only a few or some of those perspectives, and then we'll have time, and Dr. Georgiadis will respond and make a conclusion there, and then we'll have a conversation, all of us. The first, of course, like so many of us, we started by praying. Most of us are Christians here. Several of us are Christians. I can announce that, although my students are here. And we believe that true happiness will come from knowing God. The more we search God, we will be happy. Those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish. We believe that. That is the book of Psalms. We shall bear fruit even in old age. We get that. And even when things are difficult, we say that consider it joy whenever we face trials because there is somebody in control. And even when I'm having problems, I'm able to contain or to overturn that sadness to happiness because I know from Romans 8:28 that everything happens for the good to those who love the Lord and they walk according to his purpose. And when I consider one of those, then I'm contented. So that gives me joy, that alone from the scriptures, because I know there's somebody who is in control, and because he lives, I can face tomorrow, I can do more. But I read more. I get the Buddhism perspective number 2. And I like Buddhism because it talks about the Four Noble Truths, that life is full of suffering. Suffering is because of craving for desires, and the only way to stop that suffering is stop craving. Let's pause for those 3. Too many things make me suffer. So we come here saying we are going to get the American dream. I want many cars. I want a lot of money. I want big houses. Buddhism is saying those are the things that will destroy you. And the problem of that greed of so many things is that there'll never be enough. You don't even get content. And I know each one of us can quote people who knew they had a lot of money, but they were not happy. They were not content. I want to always be the first one. I want to be number one. I want to be this. I know people who have even committed suicide or done things or mental health issues, and they had a lot of money and they wondered how. And Buddhism says the fourth part is that the only way is to have that the eightfold path, as they call it. Light-mindedness, light view, light concentration, light effort, light livelihood, light action. The many things you do. Have the right mindset. You cannot tell me you are enriching yourself by stealing from people and you think you'll be happy. There's no way you can be doing the opposite of what is right. That's what the Buddhists say, and I believe in it. You cannot tell me you are happy even though you have so much material coming from the wrong sources. But that may be in question, but we see it. Another approach here is from Epicurus, Epicurean approach as we call it, which talks about maximizing the pleasure and minimizing pain. And so many people who believe sometimes they are following Epicurean approach say the more I have, let me just have another drink. Let me have a drug to make me happy. I think it's very important to understand those short-term happiness. I believe they get happy by being high. They can also create long-term unhappiness. And that's what we must fight. My friends, many of the diasporans, they follow that Epicurean approach. Let's be happy. Hey, let us go and have a drink. Let's go and have meat. Let's have all this weekend. Let's celebrate. The Epicurean approach is on moderation, self-control. And that's what we need. But happiness is not going to come with the amount of having so much and using it just to enjoy yourself, to say you're having fun, which in the long run, like that culture we have in Kenya of Nyamashoma and all this, sometimes it has a toll in itself. In Epicureanism, we see that the efforts to maximize pressure may sometimes lead to self-destruction. They talk about the values of the mind, the values of peace of mind, and that's important. The values of the peace of mind, which they call ataraxia, and the absence of bodily harm, which they are calling aponia. Now, withdrawing, just maximizing what? The material things and minimizing the pain sometimes may cause a lot of damage. And Dr. G, I would like you later on to explain on this a little bit more. But what we have should be there to enjoy. Which takes me to perspective number 4 of the Stoics. In Stoicism, the emphasis on the practical good living. Living in that eudaimonia, the Greek, Dr. Georgiadis from Greek world, that flourishing happiness, a well-lived life. And they look for that. Whatever that means, and go back to the other perspectives, that well-lived life may not always be associated with the material being, even though the Epicureans are talking something about that. So we need to look for that balance in eudaimonia, where there is the life is flourishing, even when you have very little. Get love. And with love, nothing else matters. I've said that before. Without love, nothing else matters. No matter how much you give me, if you don't give it with love, I don't care. Aristotle brought in that aspect of eudaimonia, and you can see that the slide that I'm not going to read it all, but I want to know we focus on what we can control. Direct your energy, your thoughts, your attitude on things that are under control. I don't know what Dr. J and many others were lacking, and we can give very many examples. We're just avoiding the question. Build wisdom, learning helps. You build courage, justice, do the right thing. You're endowed with children like these ones with me. It's a godly thing, take care of them. Do the right thing and feel good, feel content with that. Accept the reality. Cultivate appreciation, gratitude, and build relationships like we're having here. And Reverend Wamboy, I really admire you for building this relationship. And I hope it gives you contentment and happiness that you can be able to bring people like all of us and feel good. Remember the impermanence of life. Recognize that life and possessions are temporary. Sometimes when I hear so much stealing, and I'm not talking about anybody now, You wonder, do these people realize they're going to die and going to leave all those things here? The impermanence of life is important. And Aristotle talked about it, that in that eudaimonia, live freely, nicely. I don't know what we are lacking. We may not have achieved that dream we are coming for, but at least you've got some things to keep you going. And this brings us to that straight away, the Serenity Prayer we know, which was popularized by the AA, the Alcoholics Anonymous, that we must learn to accept what we can do, what we have. It is in 1940s that came very important. Accept what you cannot control. There's only so much you can do. And be content. Change what you can, and then hope that you have the knowledge, the wisdom to know the difference. I repeat, the serenity prayer. God grant me that serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And once we were in content with that, there was a friend of mine who lost a very dear friend and was very sad. And I read this. I said, sadness is human, but please remember, you don't have the power. Read the part of the scriptures about David. You cannot do anything about it. It is over. You are alive. Live your life the best way, because your friend will be happier that way. Which takes me to Freud and psychoanalysis. I don't know many doctors here would do a better job. But in psychoanalysis, we talk about those pressures, the inner conflict, the painful thoughts that we get, the sex playing a very central role in psychoanalysis, and practicing things that will help you manage the conflicts within you. That helps. I'll go to number 7, and I talk about Alfred Adler's individual psychology, emphasizing that people are social, purposeful, and capable of shaping their own lives. And you can't, so long as you are not from that even Buddhist angle, you're not demanding what you cannot even achieve. Be content. Adler, unlike Fred, who focuses more on sex, you are focused less on sexual drives and build social relationships and individual efforts and to overcome difficulties. Which takes me to number 8 of existentialism, which is emphasizing human freedom. We have the choice to do it, and the individual struggles to help us move on, to exist in the best way possible. Number 9, and this is the second to last, I have one more, logotherapy. Viktor Frankl is a very interesting study. And I've become a student of logotherapy. I've attended programs on logotherapy, and I really love it. It's searching meaning. When I've lost very dear people to me, and when I could not even answer it, when I looked at any other source, I realized the learning of Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, is that search for meaning. And Frankl, and I'll spend a little bit of time here, but the primary motivation, unlike Adler and like Freud, is not pressure or power. It is the search for meaning. Human beings can endure suffering when they find meaning. He gives the example of a mother who is delivering a baby, and he talks about, of course, it's a very painful experience, but she is carrying that pain with joy because she knows it is for getting baby. So she can be able, because there's a meaning to it. It's still painful, but because the end of that pain is the baby, she looks forward to it. Now, Viktor Frankl himself had lost his entire family, his parents, his brother, his wife. They all died in the Holocaust. But later on, he became a great doctor when he wrote Man's Search for Meaning. And he talked about when he wrote that he moved away from Freud, from Adler, from everybody else, and he said that in extreme circumstances, when the life is very difficult, look for meaning. There was a man who died, and the man whose wife died, and he was very, very hurt. He went to see Dr. Frankl. And when he went to see him, he said, I'm very disappointed. I'm very sad that my wife died. Then he said, would you rather it was you who died than her? Well, how would she feel? And he said she would be extremely disappointed. And then they go on and talk and say, maybe it was better she's the one who went first, so you carry the pain of missing her. Now, Viktor Frankl in this is that search for meaning. Where do we get the meaning? Meaning is important in the creating of things that bring us meaning, survival, human freedoms to choose, look for love. It is available, it's in abundance. Stop fighting your wife in your house or your children. Just don't abandon what is most important in the search of material well-being, which will never bring you happiness. Suffering with some pain and some meaning is okay, and you'll be able to bear it if it happens. In fact, this is one of the most famous quotes I get, that everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's way. I repeat, everything can be taken from you except the right to choose. And things do happen. How do you react to it? Do you go finally to give up like Dr. J, who knows very well he's gonna have his two daughters, his two kids suffer so much? What's gonna happen? And then we realize there's a lot more to life, and if we look at that. So he talks about that, doing good deeds. He talks about love and relationships and choosing meaningful suffering. We can bear that. And then finally, we got the positive psychology. Positive psychology, where we emphasize things like gratitude, forgiveness, perseverance, intentional activities that build well-being. I used to deal with people who are racist in their own way, and they're telling me, oh, where is your accent from? They say it's from Florida, and they tell me, no, where is it from? And I will say, you don't think I can belong to Florida. But later on I turned. I say, get a chance to tell them about the great Kenya, how Nyeri is so beautiful below the mountains, and Madakwaini village is one of the best places in the world, and all that. We end up happily. I live happy, they live happy. The Bible is also very clear here. You look at the Thessalonians, we give thanks. We forgive. That is the message Jesus brought. Forgive others. You'll be forgiven. It was difficult. Loving your enemy. That's hard. Serve one another in love. The greatest leader is the servant leader. That positive psychology, which is taught all over in UPenn, in Harvard, everywhere, and so many universities have that, it's a very special thing. And if we lived it, if we dealt with it like that, it's important. So positive emotions, relationships, engagement, meaning, accomplishments, and all that achievement. It's beautiful to have that. Lastly, let me talk about, this is not one of the perspectives. My friends, I know we want to make money. I know we have a career, but you cannot just take it out of the system, sorry. All these things must go together. Your home is important. Come and wash dishes and cook. Don't tell me I'm always teaching and writing books. Your health is important. Take a walk. Eat healthy. Your family is special to you. Pray. Find joy in doing stupid stuff. Playing. Manage your finances the best we know how, knowing very well it probably will never be enough. Don't have too many of this. Build friendships wherever it is possible. And build, sorry. I wanted to stop the sharing. Build things that do matter. Be content. Be content with the things that you have. Give the best that you have. Enjoy the moments. I wanted to ask whether Liz Livello. Liz, are you here? Liz Livello is my learning assistant, a student. I thought she would be here. Carrie, would you want to say something about what I've just said about the class and all that in our comparative education class? Go ahead, Carrie.
Wait, about what you talked about today?
Whatever you learned today, just say something.
I really like how also in our comparative education class, it's very big about how everybody deserves the opportunity to, have education and learn in different ways and have access to things. Kind of just like everyone deserves to have the ability to be happy, and the way that, you teach education and that we're able to retain information is just a beautiful thing, and it's a great opportunity to even be in college and things like that. And it's just a very, very powerful class that we have to be able to look at all different types of places and how they learn and help us extend our own knowledge of everything. So I'm very excited to keep continuing it.
And we look at the kids in Madakwini village. What's going on in the CBC in Kenya, the inequities, the difference, and then we live happily. I think that's important. Dr. Georgiadis, I would like you to respond before we go on. Would you make a comment? I asked Dr. Georgiadis.
Yes. Yeah, I would be glad to. Thank you so much for the extensive and very deep understanding of pathways to happiness that you gave us. My comment could probably be summed up in 2 words. The first one is enlightenment, wisdom. You started with that. With a Christian religion and wisdom. You may remember that in our classes in social sciences in Canberra School, we use the word humanitas, which is the Latin word for enlightenment. Enlightenment, of course, requires freedom, the freedom to pursue, to actually find how talented we are, so that we can reach a deeper understanding of the world, a higher level of consciousness, by means of which we can contribute to the common good in the best possible manner that we can, utilizing our talents. And of course, in order to utilize our talents, we need wisdom, and the wisdom that we need requires freedom. True freedom is the ability to actually work and find the talents that we have been given as gifts from God. And with these talents, develop a self, a higher level of consciousness by means of which we can contribute to the common good. The other word, the first word, wisdom and enlightenment. The second word, empathy, the ability to have purpose in our life, the meaning, which I think is the most important of all these attributes, these qualities that you mentioned. Being able to live a meaningful life means that we develop the ability for true love. And true love does not measure reciprocities. You mentioned earlier on, and you said, the more we give, the more will come to us. And that is true. We do not measure what comes back. We give. And what comes back naturally. And that is the basic of the idea of Buddhism. In Buddhism, we have exactly this idea, the idea that we give, we provide, and we do not do it in order to get something in return, but we always do get something in return. There's a great deal of so many things that come to mind because of all the things that you said, and I don't want to continue,
right,
unless
thank you.
Maybe
let me also add something that Dr. Georgiadis taught me. He taught me a poem I'll never forget. I don't know whether any one of you have ever seen the Odyssey, which came up recently. It is the journey. Odysseus going back to Ithaca, that poem by Constance Kafafi, we can share that. The journey is important. Pali, when you are pursuing that A grade, when you get it, you're excited, but that's the end of it. It is the path towards it that matters. We must always work towards the path of leading to something good. Don't go towards the path of self-destruction, of destroying others, and you get self-destruction. Thank you so much, Dr. Georgiadis, and thank you, everyone. And my students too here, thank you. Reverend Waboy, Reverend Kamnao, Dr. Kevin, and Pastor there, everybody, please, thank you. Back to you, Dr. Reverend Waboy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. As I come out of live, because people want to ask questions, I'm going to stop YouTube. Thank you very much for being here. All right.